YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back and excited about the Carthage DEI campaign. I actually thought this campaign was going to be dead because they updated DEI. I've heard that it wasn't save game compatible, so I was worried my save game wouldn't even load. And then at first, all the sub mods weren't updated, so it crashed the game whenever it would load in. I don't know what all the changes were. I haven't really found a good place that describes the changes they made, so I don't know if they're save game compatible. But my save game loads and it works. I may not have all those changes in this campaign, but we get to finish the campaign, and that's what worried me, is that I wouldn't get a chance to finish the campaign, that it would just get killed. Now, hopefully that's the truth. Well, they're going to sally out against me. That actually works out to my favor. I'm hoping I can crush these guys pretty bad on open ground. Have those Scutari there. Those ought to be some nice mercenaries. My mainline infantry is going to be pretty potent, and then the elephants obviously can make a huge difference in this fight too, if I can get them into the right spot. I don't have really any skirmish power in this army. It's more rushy. So, but I do have 2 Numidian javelins, in case they are needed, I suppose. The Scutari actually can, I think they can deploy outside of the deployment zone. Yeah, I don't know that we really need them to deploy outside the deployment zone. I guess we could go ahead and put them over here. Sure, why not? My Carthaginian infantry on this flank. Or on that flank. In the center, more like. Let's go ahead and get our Numidian javelins. I'm going to turn off the fire at will. And I'm going to put the South Iberian cav over here to support their Iberian infantry. I'm going to put the Carthaginian cav over here to support the lighter, more fragile Numidians. And then I'll leave my general here in the center, and I'm going to kind of try and aim to get my elephants maybe to be able to utilize this gap in the enemy line that I'm hoping to create. So let's start the battle. I do want to move forward and immediately get on the flank of the enemy troops. And I am zoomed way out, so give me just a second and I'll get down in a little bit closer. But yeah, there we go. Got my mainline Carthaginian infantry moving up out of formation attack, because I find that they tend to do better for me, at least when I'm in it. There's a mighty horse out here. I want to pin down all their units in melee if possible. They do have more melee units than me, so it's not going to work out perfect. Hopefully we don't end up with any really bad attacked in the flank penalties here. And we got charged over here by a Celtic light horse. Should not be the end of the world. I'll try and get you some close-ups here momentarily. Let's bring the elephants up, just in case. Looks like my infantry is going to be doing okay-ish in the fight. I do have my general. No, down here we're not, because we're getting outflanked penalties. Okay, cavalry quick. Yep, we already lost infantry down here, dadgummit. I'm going to try and inspire these units and scare the enemy nearby. That is a Celtic longsword. Let's see if we can hit it from behind and in front. I'm going to charge this unit and then charge it again here. I kind of got intercepted by a mighty horse. Let's hit it with some javelins. And let's see if we can hold up the infantry line here with some charges from both directions from my cavalry. Try and rout out these Gauls. The mighty horse is getting hit by a lot of javelins. And we're starting to get a nice little break over here. Though I do still have units wavering, it looks like we're going to probably be able to stabilize this fight. Let's bring in more assistance. The elephants can get to work. The enemy generals right here, about to get busted up by my elephants. South Iberian cav can go after the skirmishers. Okay, elephants are into the mix. They're going to wreck the Sequani general, and it looks like we did succeed in saving our infantry line over here, which was pretty important, to be honest. Let's bring our general over here to support. We need to get into the back of this infantry here. So I'm going to use my general once again. I took some losses in that little battle, but it's okay. It's going to be worth it. Oh, there's a whole enemy army inbound. Hopefully my elephants will quit berserking. Let's see if we can knock out what remains of this fight fairly quickly, hopefully. This mercenary berserker is getting busted up. Let's get back over here. Okay, So my infantry took more losses there than I would have liked for them to. But nevertheless, we wrapped up the Sequani center pretty effectively. There's a chosen sword still holding out, but it just routed too. And my elephants are berserking, and they are quite likely killing some of my own men. So I'm hoping that they will stop berserking here momentarily. And let's get my South Iberian cav lined up. Let's get my Carthaginian infantry all lined back up. Come on, elephants, quit it. I need these guys to quit running amok. But they are certainly still out of control. They took some losses, but got 133 kills and helped rout some enemy units, so I'd say that was a win regardless. Let's get my general into a better position. And cavalry, javelins, and one of my infantry. Okay, elephants are back under my control. We've got inbound enemies here. Let's countercharge. It looks like I lost a Scutari somewhere. There it is. Okay, well, let's keep it here, because we might need to protect that gap again. So Sequani are inbound. Let's use our javelin men to kind of hold up this flank. And let's see. Scutari are charging on through, so let's go ahead and try and get charge orders on the next infantry group. We're going to need cavalry out here to support this flank. Let's charge. Sorry, I'm going to try and get you all some close-ups, but it's not been easy just yet. There we go, get the Numidian javelins. Let's get these guys, get up here closer to support morale. And let's charge into the back of these Gallic tribesmen. I know it's just a light South Iberian cav, but the flank penalty should pay dividends against such a weak unit like the tribesmen, because it should get them attacked in the rear penalty here. And the Scutari should be doing well there. My elephants, whoa, a lot of skirmish fire rolling in here. Okay, we routed one unit here. Let's kind of keep pushing on. Let's see if we can get our South Iberian cav into their skirmishers. And then let's get around. Let's see, it's a Gallic tribesman attacking my guys there. Let's get our general back to safety. He's getting pelted by skirmish fire. Okay, we can get into the Gallic skirmishers. And let's get into the back of that fight with their Scutari. I'm going to keep the elephants out of the fight now to keep them from running amok on top of my own men. And let's do a rear charge here on these Gallic tribesmen. So I'm taking some losses in this fight. It's not been as clear cut as some of my battles because these guys aren't like ranked way up. There goes my general getting into the back of some of these units too. I lost my Numidians, but I'm going to have some Carthaginian infantry coming to support. All their skirmishers are getting wrecked. And now I'm on their flank over here with all the Scutari, and you can see the Gauls routing due to the flanking action of Scutari. Again, elephants just being held in reserve as a weapon of last resort here. And we're going to start running down hordes of skirmishers and routing troops. And it looks like the rear charge from my general was decisive. We can now finish off the mainline infantry engagements. And let's hit these routing troops here too. So try and get my cavalry a bunch of kills. Looks like we're going to succeed, so we're going to beat the Sequani here. We definitely took some losses doing so, but it wasn't too bad. We killed them like 4-1. So wouldn't say it was absolutely spectacular, but it's not bad. Those South Iberian cav right there got a lot of routing troops. That's a pretty handy number of kills for such a weak unit. Scutari racked up some nice kills too. Kind of disappointed some of my Carthaginian infantry routed really easily versus some of the Celtic units, but it may have been because, or Gallic units, sorry, it may have been because, obviously part of it's because of the outflanked penalty. It's pretty massive, but then some of them may have had a scare effect or something too, possibly, I don't know. Or they were just temporarily winning the combat off the charge, and that may have made a big difference too. It's hard to say exactly what caused it, but obviously the main factor is going to be the fact that there's huge. What does this say? Supply system. Every army, more than a single general on the campaign map, now requires supplies. Regions provide supply based on their fertility rating. You can check the base fertility and the provincial effects. Interesting. So, food -4 provincial effects. base food production, different populace, autumn. From this region, those areas, natural resources, may struggle to support armies in the area. Interesting. So you have to have supply to help your troops here, which is definitely an interesting take on things. I wonder if it affects the replenishment rate. And replenished. Well, I mean, it looks like my guys are still replenishing fair enough here. Gonna upgrade the weapons on all those units. Did we lose Scutari? I don't know what happened there, but apparently I lost some Scutari. Can I get them back? I can get 2 of them back, it looks like. Heavy Lancers, huh? That's kind of cool. Oh, this isn't the army that was just doing the fighting. My bad. Yeah, I'm going to hire back some Scutari into that army because I like the Scutari mercenaries. They're pretty good. They're not as heavy and hardcore as just like some of the standard units that I have, but they offer a nice charge and flanking support. I like them, at least. This is where we fought the Sequani. So it says we could auto-resolve this now. It's still giving them far better chances than they deserve. And I lost some Scutari and a Carthaginian infantry there, but we should be able to gain them back with relative ease. We won't be able to recruit them from that province, but I could just skip across the border real quick and get them in Vibract. So I'm going to start converting stuff over. Let's see here. So that supply thing must have been one of the changes that they threw in. I'm going to leave the farm there temporarily. And I'm going to convert some of this other stuff over to Odeon there. So let's see, where was my... Okay, yeah, we were going to switch down here. So I was going to take this army and trade some of these crossbowmen into this army. So mercenary Iberian skirmishers, yeah, these guys are all... Honestly, I can just disband these guys, but I'll keep them just momentarily, just in case I quickly need troops in this army. So we're going to accept that quick trade. Let's go back in here, though, and we're going to trade these crossbow infantry up to the other army here. Okay. How long till I can... I'm 5 turns, no, 6 turns from getting Apulian heavy infantry, which is unfortunate. I'd like to have them here in this army, and I'm still down one unit in this army, so let's hire up another mercenary, see what we can find. I'm just going to grab one more of these mercenary Libby Phoenicians. They tend to be quite nice. These Gallic sword band, though, are going to be completely underwhelming, I'm sure. We're going to need to replace them soon. This army can kind of move north, though, towards Korea, and this army can move back down towards Rome. I'm waiting to get some Apulian heavy infantry recruited. And let's see, up in Britain, Hannibal had beaten back the Britannic aggressors from Elban, or however that's pronounced. If I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. I'm quite sure I probably did then. I'm going to move up to the border and kind of just hold my position here, regroup or retrain these other troops at the end of this turn, and then we'll move on and take care of business. Now down in Egypt, let's take a look at things here. We could potentially... I don't know how good the Blemmies are, but they'll have reinforcements from the city. How good is this army? This army's pretty strong. Yeah, this army's pretty strong. I feel confident that at least on an open ground fight we could mess up the Blemmies pretty bad. I might actually move up here, fortify, and then declare war on the Blemmies and see if they'll attack me.
Am I always to be disturbed by foreigners?
Declare war, declare war.
If it is arms you want, talk to my major domo.
Okay. We're going to declare war on the Blemmies, and we'll just kind of see what happens. This army in Alexandria is just kind of standing as a buffer, just in case anybody wants to come hit me. I do want to get the research done to unlock like the Sacred Band and some of the other stuff, and we will. Just not, it hasn't hit my top priority list just yet, but we will. We'll get it done. I know that some of you asked about that and want to see it, and absolutely, I'll do my best to get it in on this campaign. There we go. Provincial effects. Let's see what some of these do. Korea description. Base government. That's kind of cool. -3 public order penalties from foreign culture. Grazing potential. Trade potential. Industrial potential. Italian trade. Interesting. All this kind of looks somewhat new to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's nice. It's interesting. I like that. This mod is impressive in many ways. Like, even though I don't always like the speed at which the units move, or sometimes the paces of the battles without submods or whatever, but it's still an extremely impressive mod. I meant to take care of those skills actually, but accidentally clicked the wrong button. Yeah, it's still a very impressive mod, and obviously a lot of people do like the mod as is. Like, they like DEI without submods, and that's great. I mean, if that's the way you enjoy things, man, have at it. Glad that so many people enjoy it. For me though, I like taking all those things that I feel like the mod adds to the vanilla game, keeping some of the things that I like about the vanilla game, and I kind of merge the two by using those submods. But that's the beauty of modding, right? It kind of gets to where you can make the game more like what you want. It's almost like a customizable version for you. But overall, I mean, just a fantastic job, in my opinion, by the makers of this mod. Oh good, they're going to attack my fort. This is fantastic. I have pikes to help defend the fort too, so this is going to be a very heavily defended fort. Ethiopian horse skirmishers, that's cool. African levy spears. Nubian archers. What else do they have here? African elephants. That general unit looks cool on the unit card. Let's go ahead and fight this. This should be interesting to take on some of these African units. See how DEI represents them. They do a good job representing lots of different units from lots of cultures. Someone asked me, like, why don't you play some DEI online with people? Well, I don't know that it works as good online, because the battle mechanics are pretty straightforward. You know, you just got to get an outflanking, or you got to get a rear charge or something like that, and it mops it up. And then the rosters are so expansive that it may make it more challenging for this to work in online play, even though it does a fantastic job for campaign. Sometimes you can have a game that's balanced very well in multiplayer that also performs very well in campaign, but sometimes it doesn't go both ways. Like, sometimes you can have a game that plays great in campaign that may not be so good in multiplayer. And I kind of feel like DEI would be there. I could be wrong. If anybody's played this against their buddies or anything like that, I mean, you can let me know. But to me, it seems like it would be kind of a struggle in multiplayer. Balhamoon has blessed us. Good to know, my friend. Alright, let's get some of these pikes. I am actually going to leave them in formation attack at this point, because they're going to just be used to defend an entry point. And I'm going to see how well my pikes can defend that entry point, making sure that they're... I don't know if the AI is going to try and burn their way through the walls. We'll see if they do. Yeah, it should be pretty difficult for the enemy to get on my flanks. I got one extra pike unit that I'll leave here. And then I've got all these sword units that I can kind of leave here in the center too. They're all kind of hard to deploy amongst all the tents here sometime. There we go. I'm just going to kind of try and drag and drop some of these guys. Good grief. No place to fit these guys. My cavalry, I'm going to actually try and get outside the fort. I don't know which direction the blimmies are coming from, but they probably won't be coming from behind because they can't deploy there, so I might take my cavalry off towards the dunes and just kind of see what happens. Okay, so pikes, make sure all of them are in pike phalanx, just to make sure that all my entrances are safe. My general, let's kind of put him back here. Let's go ahead and start the battle. Oh yeah, my pikes are going to have the fort pretty well defended. The pikes are not invulnerable from the front, but they're pretty strong. It's going to be difficult for the enemy units to push through my pikes frontally in a choke point like that. I'm going to kind of just bring these guys back here and see if maybe we can hide up behind one of these sand dunes. It's an interesting kind of drop off over here. That might be a good place to hide my guys too from line of sight. Alright, incoming blemmies. Let's watch what happens. I don't know if they're going to gather up all their forces or not. Their elephants are going to get hopefully cut down by my pikes. We'll see. And these got all these Kushite skirmishers, so their skirmishers could be a problem. I don't have any long-range skirmishers to answer them with. I can bring up some of these peltists here to help defend my pikes, if I can have an angle to throw. But I mean, they could potentially beat my pikes back with skirmishers from the entrance. The pikes are not particularly good at handling skirmish fire. They're better on DEI than standard, but still not particularly great. All my Carthaginian cabs hidden behind the dune. Okay, my pikes are under fire from the African archers, so that's definitely bad news for me. Let's see what the AI does as far as trying to get through the fort. Like, do they try and burn walls? What do they try and do? Because I've never had them attack my fort before, especially not in this mod. Okay, they got the horse skirmishers. I think my peltists have range on them, so I'm going to see if I can get a couple of tosses. Let's try and hit the... I don't think my guys have line of sight anymore over here. Nope, so just go ahead and get back. And my guys apparently don't have good line of sight on the elephants either. So yeah, just forget it. Get back here. So yeah, the enemy's trying to blob in through my pikes. Not going well for them, because the AI is not trying to burn the walls. My pikes are going to get a considerable number of kills. Let's see. They're going to move some forces over here too. The elephants are already under fire from the archer towers. They have not taken any losses just yet. Let's see what happens here. Ethiopian swordsmen under fire. The pathfinding not so good for them. My pikes up front are cleaning up kills. Very few losses. So Ethiopian swordsmen and elephants coming from this flank. My pikes have stopped their swordsmen. And I imagine the elephants, I don't know how quick they die into the front of pikes on this game. May not be instant, because the health systems and stuff are different. The elephants aren't getting any kills. Oh, an elephant down already, so they die pretty quick on the front of pikes. And only a few of my pikemen have died. Elephants are dropping. They've now gone berserk. They are dropping against the front of the pikes. This may be a good place to bring up the second pike infantry. Just to create a second line, since these guys have gotten pushed back a little bit. The elephants are dropping with relatively few kills. But again, my pikes aren't doing this completely invincible. They are taking some losses. They're not massive though. And of course all these skirmish horsemen and stuff they're trying to get in are going to get cut down pretty bad. So let's go ahead and fast forward a bit. And because this is going to take a long time to grind out, I'll zoom up where the frame rate can continue to a decent degree. Okay, you guys can actually reform into a pike phalanx, that'd be nice. Yeah, this pike phalanx has gotten pushed back a little. The elephants... let's go ahead and hit play, see if they... I'm not getting any stats off the elephants. Maybe it's because they're berserk or something, I don't know. I'm going to push these pikes forward just a little bit, because I don't want my pikemen to get outflanked. So I'm going to push these pikes forward so that we can help provide an extra bit of depth for the frontline pikes who are hurting from the push of the elephants. Up to 95 kills on that pikeman and 44 kills there. So far our pikemen are holding back the wave of Blemmy's troops, but there's second waves coming too. And pikemen, like I said, they're definitely not invincible from the front. You can see these guys have taken about 60 losses to the swordsman elephant combination, but with the second line there, it's going to cut down the elephants. They're now gone, and the Ethiopian swordsmen are not going to fare a whole lot better here either. Our general's under attack, huh? Looks like some of these units over here may be pitching some javelins towards my general, but we're okay. Let's see, 127 kills on the pikes here. They're doing quite well, actually, for their cost. We've got quite a few more Blemmy's troops coming in, though. These Ethiopian swordsmen, I imagine, are going to rout any moment now. They're taking fire from my towers, and they're being beaten back by the pikes. As soon as they rout, I'm going to reallocate this pike unit over here to the center, where I expect that we'll get more action. So that Blemmies unit is gone. Let's move these guys here. Reposition these pikes. And then we'll back them up with the Carthaginian Reformed Infantry. Okay, so this pike unit's now moving over to take position over here so we can have a second line of pikes. Just try and maximize the use of my pikemen here for what they're good at, which is frontal defense, basically. And I'm going to move this second line of pikes up as close as I can so that they can actually hopefully push their pikes into this combat. There we go. Yeah, the Blemmies really pouring on the men here. But yeah, now I've got pikes backed up by pikes. This is going to be basically, I mean, as good as a physical barrier as in terms of defending the fort here. And this pike unit is all reset for more defense too. I'm going to reset them again, see if I can get them in a slightly better formation. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. I'll get you some close-ups here in a minute, but I want to let a little bit of this play out. I am taking some skirmish fire, and some of my pikes are hurting. I would love to come out here and hit some of their skirmishers and maybe lure out some of their spearmen away from the main fight. So let's go ahead and bring the Carthaginian cavalry up and see if we can get at some of these Ethiopian archers while avoiding some of the spearmen. Yeah, we've got pretty good defenses going in our favor here, I think. Again, though, we are taking pike losses, though some of my pikemen are beasting out a tremendous number of kills. My cavalry does have a ways to go before it gets over here. Let's go ahead and fast forward again, and then I'll get you some close-ups once we get to that point. None of my pike units are about to fail, so we're good. Hopefully my Carthaginian cavalry is not too tired from the run over here. In fact, we should probably stop and let them rest right there outside of range of those Ethiopian archers. And we'll do the same thing over here, just stop and let my cavalry rest. See if we can get these guys back up to a fresh status before we get into combat. These pikes doing quite well, 151 kills. These ones 272 kills and still rapidly climbing. Let's see. These units are back on fresh. So I'm going to go ahead and get back into things here. These units they can rest over here. So I'm going to hit these Ethiopian archers, and I'm going to push on through to this other local hunter blob over there. Let's check this out. Get some up close action. Those Ethiopian archers are extremely cool looking units. Very nicely done from just a visual, aesthetic, pleasing skins, I guess, in those guys. That is very cool looking. Like the coloring, yeah, it's just all good. Can't say enough about that. So yeah, we're going to pin down this big skirmisher blob here. We hit the Ethiopian archers, and I imagine they're going to rout relatively quick. And then this Carthaginian cav has caught another big skirmisher blob. I'm going to let these guys rest it out just for a second, hopefully regain their stamina. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this cavalry around and try and pin the rest of this blob in place. So yeah, those Ethiopian archers kick the bucket. Those two cavalry are now fresh, so we can use them to come in here and close the vice even further on the skirmisher blob. And the Carthaginian cavalry is definitely bringing home the bacon in terms of getting some major kills on this skirmishing blob. So yeah, now I'm going to pour into the back of these skirmishers, so my guys that came out from behind the dunes going to find the enemy here unprepared to fight off cavalry, and I'm going to get a ton of kills in melee combat against all these light troops. Well, I charged a little bit early. Let's go after this blob, and I'll send this one out. We'll displace this blob here. There we go. So we've sent them scattering. Nubian archers, yeah, I mean, we're just cremating all these skirmishers, getting a ton of cavalry kills here. And pikes are still holding out strong. 433 kills on this one unit. So the pikes have paid some serious dividends here in this fight, and I'll just kind of it's gonna frame lag the snot out of this, almost like Attila. But yeah, you can see my pikes here just holding up an amazing front versus the enemy. There's not a whole lot of getting through that. See the Ethiopian cavalry there trying but failing. to break through that. Okay, let's just keep chasing archers so that they'll quit firing. And then once my cavalry get a chance, we might be able to rest them and get some rear charges. Actually, I got an idea. Let's bring these elephants out over here. And we'll see if we can get the elephants around into the back of one of these Ethiopian blobs. Oh man, my cavalry is going to be getting so many kills. So all the enemy archers, for the most part, have been dealt with. There's a few of them still on the battlefield. Let's go hunt down this group over here, those local hunters that came back from routing, and chase that unit. Okay, we've wiped out that unit. This unit's getting wiped out. It's a tribal slinger. And my elephants are now out, and I'm going to bring them around into the back of this melee blob and cause some extreme damage with them. Should be a lot of fun. Okay, cavalry continuing to hunt down the remaining skirmishers. There you go. And that skirmisher's getting ready to break. And now we should be able to get my elephants into the back of this blob. I'm going to bring my general up to do some inspiring and fear and other stuff. Oh, this is going to be juicy. This is going to be absolutely juicy. These elephants getting here into the back of this melee blob. Look at this, nowhere to run. Here come the elephants, just going to start wrecking these poor Ethiopian troops. Yeah, they're going to go berserk and just absolutely shred the enemy infantry over here. That is beautiful. And my general is here, so I'm going to drop a war cry, inspire the local troops. And I'm going to bring this cavalry around to hit troops that are routing. I imagine he is. My elephants, look at the kills just skyrocketing on the elephants. I did lose one elephant here, so I will try and wrap this fight up to make sure I don't lose a bunch of elephants, but I mean, they are just absolutely pulverizing this blob. Just look at the ground here. Yeah, so I mean, this is a kill-pocalypse. Just look at the kills climbing on those elephants. I've only lost 3 elephant units, but we're up to like 500 kills, quickly climbing. And once this blob is gone, my elephants should be safe. Yeah, I'm gonna get away from that blob because my elephants might kill my own horsemen. So that elephant killtrocity here was amazing. Just look at the kills, man. Still flying, 737. Quickly climbing. We're gonna get some unbelievable amount of kills here. I'm gonna actually go into a wedge and charge that there. The wedge might give me a little extra boost. Let's get back up here. So the elephants just absolutely cleaned house here. They are now back under my control. Or no, they're not. The elephants are out here now chasing archer units. 904 kills. I'm hitting all the routing units with my cavalry, and then these cavalry happen to kind of come back in. They were out chasing enemy units. I got a wedge charge over here that has badly damaged the morale of all the blemmies, and now they're starting to rout too. So just losing the combat from the front and the back. And it is starting to take its toll on the poor Blemmy's troops here, who ended up just getting absolutely raffle stomped by Carthage. My elephants, though, almost dead. But they did manage to survive the fight with 935 kills. Hopefully they are still mine. Look to the defenses. Unlocked an achievement there. What is this one? Let's view the achievement. Let's see. Look to the defenses. Go. Can you sort by date? Apparently not. That's unfortunate. Kind of curious what that. Look to the defenses. Here it is. So successfully defend an encampment during a campaign without losing more than 25% of your starting force. Yeah, I'd say we accomplished that. So it's in the battle. That was pretty awesome. Actually, that's gonna make one of my favorite battles there. Look at the kills on those pikemen and the cavalry. Slaughtering 3,825 Blemmy's troops with only 300 of our men. So that was a 10-to-1 kill ratio on the part of my men. We're a double silver chevron on one of our pikemen, and 935 kills on the African war elephants. I'd definitely say that was worthwhile. That was awesome. Anyway, that's going to be all the time I have for this episode. I'm going to wait till we get out to the campaign screen, though. So some big battles here clearing the ways for us. We managed to take a city from the Sequani. We're going to take this city from the Blemmies now, too, that we've defeated their forces so overwhelmingly. So we're making progress on all fronts, and then Hannibal's ready to continue pushing north in Africa, or in Britannia. So pretty exciting. Oh, I'm worried if I don't go back and retrain those elephants, though, that I'll lose them on the auto-resolve. No, I'm not going to take a client state offer, but nice try. Considering whether or not I should back up and let those elephants retrain. Saba wants a trade agreement, and they're offering me 10,000 talents for the trade agreement. I don't need the 10,000 talents, so I'm going to decline. We'll think about it. Here comes the Sequani. They are going to counterattack one of the settlements that I've already taken. There's not going to be much I can do about it, so we're just going to have to take a protective stance or something to see what happens. We're not going to make it, but we'll take it back. So that's Korea. I have an army on the way up there, so even if they retake it, it's not a big deal. We can recapture it here. Yeah, they did retake it, but we'll take it back from them. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Interesting. While the tribes encompass Scythian nobility have begun to adopt some Hellenic influences, employ a limited amount of those techniques. Huh. I guess these are maybe like events or something they've built in. Very cool. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.